Howdy folks, this morning's soap is from Jeeves of Hudson Street, Turkish bath. Pretty sure he doesn't make these pucks anymore like this, puts them in a tub, so I've had this one a while. I like the pucks when I put them in the Old Spice mugs, and that's what I've got in right now. I got the alum block without the rubber band, unscented witch hazel with smithylated. I'm going to follow up today with some Clubman. Off camera I'll be using the Shaven Sailor Beard oil. Got it whipped up here in the Old Spice mug, that's what I got the puck in. This brush here is the natural bristle. It's not the one that I reknotted, in other words. This one here, this brush, if you're not familiar with it, is made in Taiwan. If I remember right, it used to have a sticker on there that said Barber shop. So this brush has been around a little while. I know I didn't put the knot in this one, and it does look very much like the one that I removed out of the other brush I've got like this. I like this brush, the handle, the shape. I wish it a little bit flatter on the end so that you can stand it up, but outside of that, and I've seen them on eBay where somebody has cut the ends of them off, so you can kind of tell the trend was wanting to be able to stand your brush up. But anyway, that's the so today, and it's been a good long while since I tried to use this shaver. This is the Starling with the original plate. This plate's the blue one, and it's got a gem blade in it, Teflon coated, and I really struggled with this one. In other words, I'm not getting scratches usually on my neck. I'm going to give it a try today, but I also want to, if I run into too much trouble, I do have the, see if I can get it right here. Got the one core. This one here, want to show you something. You see how that's loaded in the back? And you've seen some other shavers that are like that. It's not, this particular one is a vintage shaver, Ender Speed razor. And this one here takes very special blades, if you will. I like when you can get these boxes like this, the containers. Sometimes, you know, just that little bit of history from days gone by. For instance, this one here at the end tells you it comes with 5 blades. And if you look close enough on that, right there it tells you where it's from, St. Louis, Missouri. Just cool information like that, as well as information like that right there. No, that's pretty small, you're probably not able to read it, but it just tells you about the razor company and that sort of thing. Comes in, here's the rest of the box, and maybe kind of hard to show without it all falling out. That's what it all came with the razor when I got this a while back. I did shave with this one quite some time ago with the original blade, a new one that came in the pack, but it was not comfortable at all. If I could ever figure out how to hone one of these to the point where it would sharpen up, it felt really dull. And over the years, did the edge oxidize or something like that? It doesn't surprise me. It most likely so. So I'm going to go ahead and, probably should show you the shape of the handle. And I'd have to say, when I did shave with this one here, the way this is all shaped made it pretty easy to hold it like this. The shape of the head and everything, it seemed really natural. I guess you might say I'm so disappointed that I can't get blades anymore for this, because it's natural. I mean, you look at it, in other words, if there was one to be remade, this one here would be it. But you have to do something different with the blades, because that's what they look like. And to make those blades again, I'm sure that's going to be a bit of a trick. So if one could figure out how to do one with some of the other blades that's been used, like you know, like the one blade core, so on and so forth, you know, utilizing maybe one of those kind of blades. Not necessarily the core, but like Ockman's razor, you know, feather artist club blades or the Kai blades or something along those lines. Even a gem, if you can get one to work out for you. But I'm thinking the Kai or the Artist Club is probably the direction they may want to go. But it's the little things that came with it that I thought was pretty cool. It's got this little piece of paper here when you want to reorder the set or the blades or anything like that. And there it all is, right there. Just cool stuff in my opinion. Like I say, it's got some blades in there that was wrapped up. It's just, you know, when you're looking at 50, 60 years, you know, from the time these came out, there's going to be some deterioration on the blades, I'm pretty much figuring. But at any rate, got the one blade core set aside in case this shave does have a tendency to go south on me. Like I say, I really struggled with it before, so I'm going to try to take some time with it and not go through it at the speed that I normally do, go a little slower. I might even be using a buffing action. I'm just not too sure. We'll see how it goes. Like I say, I've struggled with this shaver. For me, there's a couple of things that I thought maybe design-wise, some things that would change with it that would make it a bit easier for folks to use. I haven't seen, I guess you might say, a restock of the new plates. Like I said, I'm still not too sure that those new plates are what the problem is for me. Could be it could have been addressed in that what I have done on the back side, that is a piece of rubber that's in there, because I felt like I needed it to raise the cap, to point the nose down in order to keep the blade pointing downwards. The stop hooks, if you want to call them, they're there, but the blade doesn't even meet it. It's so in other words, the ends of the blades were what was catching me before. And I think if those hooks could have been brought up a little bit to help cover those corners for me, as well as making this meet a little bit better, for me, I think that would have worked out better for me. For other folks, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure how they're getting a shave with it without running into issues. Just to me, it just seemed like that would be minor adjustments, maybe. Not part of the manufacturing process, so I don't know how tough that would be. I would think the hook part, in other words, covering up the ends, wouldn't be too tough. Now the cap or the base plate, making the two meet, that might be problematic. I could halfway understand that, because now you're trying to add just a particular amount of metal in order to meet that, and that could be kind of tough to do. So maybe a piece of rubber might be the answer anyway. Rubber, plastic, you know, just whatever works easiest to manufacture, like a spacer, if you will. It could be that maybe I'm struggling with the angle. I guess you might say I really don't think so, but it could be. Maybe that the technique has to be refined to that point where you really have to watch your angle in order to get a good shave. In other words, yeah, I'll put it this way. The razor's just that picky. So in other words, if you don't get the angle just right, you don't mind your pressure, it's going to let you know it. And I think that's maybe what was going on in the past. One of the reasons why I struggled with it, trying to think that I was shaving with a Jim 1912 or what, take your pick, in other words, and that's not what I'm shaving with. I have to say, so far I'm doing pretty good. Haven't felt anything that felt like a scratch in that yet. Oh, I should say, this morning, yeah, my nose is not working all that well. If there's a scent left but in this puck, I sure enough can't pick it up. It sits pretty much in an open area on a shelf, so it doesn't surprise me if the scent left, but the performance of the soap hasn't changed any. If you're wondering about putting soap in a Old Spice mug that's not used on a regular basis, I'm thinking if you're using it on a daily basis, it shouldn't be an issue because the soap will get used on a regular basis and you'll use it up and replace it. I have to say, so far it's going pretty good. I gave it a lot of thought on this razor. I almost didn't shave with it today. It's not my favorite razor. It gives me the most trouble. Like I said, it's covering up those corners I thought might make a big difference for somebody like me that was not terribly whoopee on the technique. If you got a little cattywampus, in other words, covering up those corners would help keep from somebody getting a scratch. So in other words, if your technique's not quite up to snuff, you know, it's going to let you know about it. But like a shavette, not only will it demand all the attention that you have in order to get a good shave, but you know, your technique is going to have to be on par too. Still on the fence whether, when he comes out with another fresh stock, whether I'll go ahead and pick up the base plates and see how it works. Tempted to also order just the whole thing just to see if there's any changes in between. As far as I know, there's not, but you know how manufacturing processes can be sometimes. It could vary just enough to make a difference. It is a lightweight razor. It does not have a whole lot of weight behind it. Doesn't seem to affect me one way or the other. And I usually lean towards more of a shaver that has some weight behind it, but this seems to be working out alright weight-wise. In other words, I don't believe that increasing the weight would improve the shave any. I could be wrong. You know, one way to find out is shave with one that's heavier, but it doesn't. I don't get that impression with this shaver. I think for the whole thing, the handle, cap, base plates, and all that sort of thing, I think it was $40. Still very much affordable. You know, gotta give kudos for that. That's getting a shaver like this, you know, with two different base plates, handle, the whole 9 yards for $40. That's pretty darn inexpensive. If you're just looking for just the base plates, I think it was $25, in which he did sell up pretty quick. Yeah, I think I just have to take it a little slower and pay closer attention to what I'm doing. Can't shave with it like I had to do with the gym until I think I get enough shaves under my belt. No, last time I tried it, I think I had 5 shaves in a row with it. It's one of those that I guess you might say there is a bit of a learning curve. Even more so than with a Gym 1912. Or even a Micromatic as far as that goes. Push buttons, yeah, there's the shave compared to this with a push button, it's close. I think this one you feel a little bit more of the blade, maybe just a little bit, but for the most part, if you get your technique down, I think you might get close with the blue plate. so far efficiency, in other words, on the beard reduction, it seems to be working just fine. This will be the true test here, because usually that's where you remove just that little bit that's needed to be removed, and excuse me, then you got a great shave. No irritation, nicks, cuts, weepers. There's just a little feedback. This is second use on this blade. Maybe setting it to the side was a good thing. Give me plenty enough time to get past being irritated with the how the shave went with this thing, and give it more thought to make sure it's not me that's the issue. There's a bristle right there. It does shed a little bit, that brush. Face it, it's been around for a while. And the one that I got that I reknotted, all the bristles in the center are gone. If you look at it just like this, it looked alright, but when you looked in the center, it's like, oh my gosh, where's all the bristles? Yeah, I think I did pretty good. I know last time, matter of fact, I think it was the very last shave I had with it. I had scratches all up and down. They were quite visible by the end of the shave. I did not feel that this time. With the blue base plate, say it was fairly close. Definitely close enough for one of those sociably acceptable shaves. If you were looking for a BBS, you'd have to go and do a pickup pass. Depending on your growth. I know for me I'd have to do a, which is nothing unusual. It's not a knock against the razor by any means. Probably more about technique for me. Close enough. And that's just being picky. I mean, it's a pretty close shave. I went many times with a shave like that. Nobody's going to see those whiskers. You can just barely feel them. But if you're careful and picking up just those little ones, you don't have a whole lot, you can get by without getting irritation, and you might feel a little bit better about your shave. For me, it wouldn't matter one way or the other. It's more me practicing using the shaver itself for me, especially at different angles that I'm not typically shaving with. In other words, normally down, normally up, either from the ear to the nose, nose to the ear. You get those angles down pretty good, but when you have to angle every which direction to catch these ones that are growing at odd angles, sometimes your technique, is not quite as well refined as the other strokes, the other passes you just went through. I think I did pretty good today. I almost didn't shave with it. I was going to go ahead and shave with the one blade core again. Because that one blade core is really easy to shave with, in my opinion. And whether you should buy it or not, is it a buy, try? the last time I looked, it's like $80. I bought mine used with, I don't know what, 17 blades for $40 shipped. So it's like, at that price, I don't know. You'd be better off, especially if depending on the price of the Lockman's razor. Oh man, that one's a awesome shaver. All metal, so on and so forth. That's a much better buy in my opinion. You'll be most likely very happy with your purchase if you go with Lockman's razor as opposed to the one blade core. Even though, yeah, the head doesn't pivot, but that was not a factor for me. The pivoting head just, to me, on the one blade, just makes it easier for somebody that's not used to shaving like this, and helps with, how do you say, poor technique, perhaps. Poor technique being that you haven't learned it because this is the first shaver you're using since you started with the cart. So in other words, it's once you learn how to shave with one of these shavers, that Lockman's razor is really nice. Just a fantastic shaver. That, in other words, that's the one it's not leaving the den. If I was ever to had to downsize, that one's not leaving. It's staying. I really enjoy my shaves with it. Decided to go with Clubman. I have used quite a bit of one, and something happened to it. I couldn't even tell you. I think it got borrowed. But anyhow, this is a newer bottle. I've got more than one. Got to keep a good supply on hand. Oh, stinging from the alum block. I had just a little bit right here. That was it. So I know my technique was a lot better than what it has been in the past. Besides the visible scratches I got on the last one, boy, it's like, dang. I mean, had scratches going up and down on my neck and whatnot. It's not very comfortable at all. I was disappointed to the point this is the first shave in quite a while. I'd have to go back and look. Heck, it might even be a year since the last time I shaved with it. It's been a good long moment. Once again, it is the Phoenix Starling. It is, I guess you might say, laser etched in the head, or the cap, I'm sorry. Handle. This is all aluminum construction again, if that helps any if you're not familiar with this kind of shaver. Like I say, he is sold out. This piece of rubber back here, for those that's been around long enough, I haven't seen them in quite a while. Usually when you go to the grocery store, you'll see some stuff hanging off the side, and it's just a piece of rubber, not very thick, and usually use it to put on top of the jar lid, and in order to give you some better grip to get the jar lid open. And I cut up one. I got out of the kitchen in order to make that little modification there to help push up the back, point that nose down. Dartmouth, he used like an old gift card, like a credit card, and so his spacer is pretty stiff, and he cut his out and put it in there, and felt like that made a big difference for him. I know for me this makes a big difference, having that back there, having that blade pointed down more so as opposed to coming up. Because when you take that out and you tighten it up, this nose part has a tendency to come up a bit, so does the blade. And so in other words, the stop hooks, not that they're serving a purpose now, they definitely don't at that point because the blade's pointed up so high. And I think the way Douglas referred to it as a floating blade design, and yeah, guess you might say I'm not a fan of that. That's what all this is about, and that's the reason why it is designed the way that it is. Yeah, that, boy howdy, that one there, not too appreciative of that one, don't like it. Technique-wise and whatnot, I felt like for me, I've got enough shaves under my belt with these single edges that I should be able to figure it out and not be so tough to do. And if it's that tough for me to figure it out and to get a good shave, the majority of the shavers out there probably aren't going to get it either. So in other words, you want a shaver that's going to be a little bit easier to learn, less of a learning curve. And plus the fact, like I said, it was pointed up and that blade, it was sticking up. It was one of those kinds of made me nervous. I looked at that like, no. No can do on that one. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I had a good time. It was a good shave. I did alright this time. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.